What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another Motorhead YouTube video. As you know, we did take a break on the M3, but we pulled it back into the garage. And today I want to get started on the back end. I went ahead and put all this in its place just to see how it's all going to look. And I want to go ahead and start making these hinges for this trunk, because once we get the trunk mounted, we can actually mount this piece for good. And then I want to get all the body work done and get it primed. That way we can paint it. As you know, we are buying the Goon Squad's S2000, so we're going to have the complete drivetrain, the harness, and everything to it. We just drop it in and start it right up. So let's get right into this. That way we can get it all ready, and then we'll get it all done with body work. All right, so as you can see, the original E30 hinge is quite different, and it's very off because the trunk goes right here originally. We're gonna have to move all this up. So I came up with this idea. I'm going to pretty much bend out a piece of metal, and I'm gonna weld it to here. But first I'm gonna get it mounted, and it's gonna come down like this, and then come down and weld to here. And it'll be welded real nicely so it doesn't move. And then that way when we take this trunk off, we'll have an exact point for these two holes. Then I'm going to cut this hinge right there, and I'm going to bolt it to the plate I built here, because this plate is going to replace the trunk. And once I get that bolted onto here, all I'll have to do is build off of this cut and build a piece right there, and we'll have an E30 M3 hinge. All right, so before we get started on any of that, I actually need to go buy a cutting wheel. So we're gonna head over to Atlas Bolt. That's where we get all of our pearl blades. We're gonna get a cutting wheel, and then we'll dig right into this. Our Uber pulled up. Let me know if you guys wanna see this car on our channel. We're actually doing it for a client. It has some issues, and the dealer quoted him like $25,000 to fix it.
Yeah, so let me show you guys something real quick. So this is a friend of ours. He just bought this i8, and let me show you guys the headlight button. So to turn on the headlights, you literally come here. Tell me that's not off of a 1996 1996 Jeep Wrangler. Golly, man.
But the dealer quoted him $25,000 to fix it. He hardwired it for now, and he wants us to fix it. So
no, he actually bought it like that. He said he bought it from a dealer in Pennsylvania.
And it was like that?
Being transported, the dude said, "Hey man, yeah, the switch is a little weird."
Dang.
And, all right, so there's one thing we got to do before we take it for a spin. Come here.
So the dealer actually charged him $3 grand to install these, and it literally fell off on the right over here.
Yeah, look at that.
So this car definitely needs a lot of work. Unfortunately, he got kind of...
what's that word? Bamboozled?
Yeah, he got bamboozled. So we're going to take care of it. If you guys want to see it on the channel, just comment down below. I think it'd be pretty fun. So let's go ahead and head over to Atlas Bolt and get these cutters. Man, guys, you can't even hear this thing. I'm pretty sure it even has a speaker for sound. That's what I've heard. A good friend of ours used to have one of these. This thing is... it's very nice inside. It's definitely a head turner, but definitely not a supercar. I've heard people call this car a supercar. After driving the McLaren and this thing, man, this thing is just pretty much like a 3 Series. Well, it looks very nice.
The funny part is this car only has 2 modes. It only has Eco, Pro, and Comfort. There's no sport mode even.
Dang.
So
it's not even a sports car, guys. It's literally just a hybrid.
A very fancy hybrid is what it looks like.
Yeah, I do like the styling. It's a very nice car. I like how it's a carbon tub. That's pretty cool also. And the interior is very nice. I like this lighting too. It's pretty dope. So we're gonna head over to Atlas, get what we need, and get back to the shop, because I'm really pumped to get that trunk on. It's gonna be super dope, and I love this idea. Even Yuri liked the idea when I showed it to him. So we're gonna make this little bracket and get those hinges made, because all the hinges I found are across the pond, and they're all like 350 euros, which is about $400. I'd rather just build them, honestly, because I've seen it done plenty of times, and I think if we can build them, we can literally get it done today. So let's get there, get that, and get back on it. We always use Pearl from Atlas, and they actually hooked us up just now, gave it to us for free. Big shout out to them. If you ever need anything, you can even order it online at atlasboltco.com. So check them out. They're a good company, good people. So let's get back to the shop and get these hinges made. All right guys, so pretty much this is going to go onto here. And then once we get this mounted on here, I'll put the trunk back, put it in its spot, and bend this out to the body of the car and get it welded on. All right guys, so here's the bracket. As you can see now, I just need to mark it right here, bend this out. I got the trunk in its spot. As you can see, it's lining up very nicely. So I'll get that welded onto there, redo it on this side, and then we can take this trunk off for good and we don't even need it for now. Okay, so here's the bracket, and as you can see, there's a little gap here, but the reason for that is the trunk needs to go up a little to line up with that. So literally when you push this up, it's all even right there. So we're gonna weld this up, but first I wanna remake it for that side. And as you can see, once I take this trunk off, I'm gonna have literally the mounting points for it. And we'll cut this off, bolt it on, and go from there. All right guys, we got everything off and we got these pieces welded on here. Now, as you can see, I'm just going to chop this right here and bolt it onto here, and we'll work on mounting this to here. And as you can see, the reason I did this was because I can take the trunk off and I got plenty of room in here to work, and I know exactly where my mounting points are for the trunk. So let's get this done. Here's our setup. As you can see, the hinges just bolt on here and we have our trunk spot. But the E30 M3 has more of a V-shaped hinge, and this one's a U, as you can see right here. So we're gonna need to cut this one right here and make this hinge go down lower and come out like this. That way, as you can see, it won't clear. So we need to measure from the end of this to here to see exactly how much we need to add onto this hinge. And we'll go to the steel store and get the necessary steel and remake this hinge. So first hinge is done. It still needs to be cleaned up a bit, but I went ahead and plated the back too, and I'm gonna grind it all down and paint it, but I wanted to make the next one. So I pretty much just replicated it. And then here are all the pieces, and they're gonna go on the exact same way. And then I just need to weld it up. Let's see. And then this one goes here, like so, straight up to there, and then boom, perfectly replicated. And what I'll do is I'll put the end piece on there and put that other end piece on here and tack it on perfectly like I did this side. Then once I get it tacked on, I want to put the trunk on and make sure it opens and closes properly. All right, guys, next day here at the shop, and as you can see, the trunk is opening and closing. The hinges aren't done. We still need to finish welding them up. I do want to modify this one. As you can see, this trunk is falling because it is heavy with the wing. It actually stays up on the springs with just the trunk, but when I put the wing on, it just falls right down. So I decided I'm gonna do a little strut system here. I have the stud already in here. It needs to be welded in. And here's the strut. It's just a universal one from O'Reilly's, and it's gonna go right there. The E30 M3 actually has a strut system right here, and it connects to this little jack that's used to lift up the car if you have a flat tire, but mine is damaged, so I'm just gonna weld in this stud. I think it's gonna be nice and strong. And then we'll weld one onto this hinge right here, and this will go here, and it should hold the trunk up. So let's go ahead and get this on here and see how it looks. As you can see, it opens up, and I like how at the end it slows down, which is perfect because it's not going to swing the trunk up and hit anything. So it turned out very nice. Now we got to take these hinges off and plate them and clean them up and make them look real nice.
This is the original?
Yeah. You like?
I like. We'll put another two?
I think it just needs one.
No, I need the two.
You think?
Yeah. Doesn't look like
Flex?
flex.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I need the two, Dad.
Need two?
Yes.
He's saying it needs two because when you pull on it right there, it flexes, but I ain't gonna let anyone use my car, and I'm gonna know to shut it right here, so I think,
Hey, what about here?
trunk needs to go forward and up.
Move this way?
Yeah.
Because we pokazać, to nie widzę.
Nie, просто закрутил ее, чтобы побачить, если магазаты были робити. So I've been finding this gap for a good minute and no luck. I keep having a very small gap here on the end, as you can see on both sides, and need to get it perfect. I think I messed up because when I originally made that plate, I don't know what I was thinking. I did not put the spacers here and align the gap before I set the trunk. So they're both too low. So Yuri came over here. He just finished a frame job over there. Be sure to check it out at 23rd Garage. I'll link it down below. He's going to help us get these gaps right because, you know, this is a lot more of his forte. He gets gaps good. So he got a good idea to do it. So let's go ahead and get into it and see if we can get this trunk aligned perfectly.
All right, so we decided we were going to go ahead and cut the trunk right here. It's going to give us access inside to weld the hinges. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I got you. All right, I'm gonna hop in. All right, so right now what I'm going to do is go in there and just put two little tacks on each side where we cut it. And then we are going to take away the paint paddles and see if it does in fact settle into its position. And hopefully we'll be able to get back under there and weld everything up real tight and it'll be good. So I'm gonna hop in there right now.
Dang, I gotta be careful not to sit on that. You like it.
Stop.
Complete trial and error.
All right, guys, and that's why I called Yuri over here, because I was struggling with this gap, I will admit, and it's obviously a lot easier with someone on the outside holding the trunk and you welding inside. So we got these gaps all lined up very nicely. You know, I've been going off of pictures. I've never seen an E30 M3 in person, so I'm kind of just going off pictures, and it's looking good to me. You know, there's still plenty of room for adjustment, so we're not really worried about it as long as we can get the trunk actually fitting. And as you can see, opening, it's very beautiful. I'm very happy with the results. We're gonna go get some lunch, and once we get back from lunch, we're gonna start building these drip trays. And while Yuri was under there, he actually noticed that this seal is just like the original E30, and it lines up perfectly here. So pretty much all we're gonna have to do is rebuild from here and transition downwards. As you can see, so it'll line up to this. You see it goes up and then down right here. So we'll remake that here, and then it'll be good, and we can put a seal on it, and that'll be it for the back.
All right, so we need to make a drip tray here, and we need to connect the fiberglass to the metal. So I'm going to use this piece of paper and make a rough sketch of the piece that I need to cut out for here, and then so that we can weld it onto the body and connect the fiberglass to it. All right, so we've got our piece here for the corner roughly cut out. As you can see, it is pretty rough, but we'll clean it up before we weld it. It fits on pretty nice. The only thing I have to do now is to make sure that this section right here that will hold the actual weathering stripping is nice and flush and fits real good. And then I'm thinking about adding also a piece in there to hold that as well. And here we've got about 1 inch overlap, so we'll be able to put 2 nice rivets right here and, you know, Bondo over and make it look real smooth. And it'll look as close to factory as it possibly can without, you know, being factory. I think of the factory one, it's just kind of rolled right here, kind of smooth, kind of rolls down with this. But obviously we can't recreate the factory look, so you're just gonna have to live with this. I think Mark will be okay with it.
Yeah,
it's gonna look good. So I'm going to go ahead and get this piece fitted up, and we'll tack it in place and see what happens. All right, so we are ready to put in the actual piece that the weather stripping sits on, and I've marked it here. I'm going to cut it. It's a rough cut. We will get under there and finesse it more once it's welded in. I just want most of the excess of it to be gone for now. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off. We'll tack it in and see how everything fits.
Check that out, guys. That thing is just looking absolutely amazing. Yuri did an awesome job on this. I honestly would not have been able to do that myself. Now we need to do that side. In the next episode, we're gonna go ahead and fiberglass all this and mount this piece for good. And what I'm thinking is to just panel bond everything really nicely and get it holding super good, get it all mounted. And once it's fully dry and cured with this piece in and everything, we can throw a thin layer of fiberglass over all this, get it all cleaned up, grind these down, put a layer over them, clean them up, prime everything. And then the back end will be done, and we can focus on the outside of the car. So we're gonna keep going at it, keep knocking it out. We're probably gonna go into that side now and get that done. All right guys, just like that, our trunk gaps are looking amazing. This was actually something I was stressing about because we couldn't get it right throughout this whole process. Up to this point, constantly putting the trunk on, trying to fit it and everything. But now with hinges on it, big thanks to Yuri, he was able to get this gap very even right here, and he gave me a great idea on how to mount this. So the idea is to do fiberglass kitty hair in the back here and let it hold on and pretty much mold all this up, and then we can go in with the grinder and cut our body line back out. I think that's gonna be the best way also, because not only is that gonna seal everything, it's gonna allow us to make our gap exactly how the real M3 is. And right here, we could literally just cut this piece up, down, whatever we can add to it, make it even to this gap, and it's literally gonna look perfect. Once we get to the bodywork stage, we can make everything super smooth. That'll be actually really soon, because a big thing that was a problem for us was these drip edges, and Yuri just absolutely killed it, as you can see. If you want to see another video on this, go to 23rd Garage. I'll link it down below. He also recorded some footage on this, and man, he just absolutely killed it. These look awesome. And also this piece right here is the only last big project, I would say, and it's going to be pretty simple. We're going to do another collaboration with Yuri, and we may just do the whole video on his channel just to get y'all to go over there and check it out. So stay tuned for that. We'll be panel bonding this. We got actually a really good system to put this whole piece on. It's going to be awesome. So stay tuned for all that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to comment down below and smash that like button. And also subscribe if you want to stick around and enjoy the content. And follow us on Instagram at motorhead.co. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.